Welcome to this session on making modifications to the HVAC system. So in this session, I will guide you through making various updates that will impact the energy usage by modifying the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. Now, every HVAC system has different key variables that can be adjusted to alter the system's energy usage. Examples would include the coefficient of performance, supply air fan efficiency, motor efficiency. So in order to better understand the impact of changing these variables, simulations can be run before and after the variables are changed. So I'm going to walk you through first how to change the HVAC system assigned to the rooms, and then how to change some of the settings of that particular HVAC system. So for this tutorial, we have provided 4 different HVAC systems that generate 4 separate hypothetical building setups. So we will select and assign a new HVAC system to the building and then adjust some of its settings. So I'm going to go up to the data managers and select the HVAC system tab. And you'll note on the project tab here, there's these 4 systems set up for this particular project. And for the simulations already run, we've been using the PTAC air-cooled DX with electric heat. And this is a fairly simple system. You can see when we select it here, it only consists of this room component, which would exist in every room that needs heating and cooling. But if we look at another system, for instance, the PTAC air-cooled DX with hot water heat, that requires a few more components. There's actually a hot water boiler that's heating water, and then pumps that pump it through a piping system that takes it to the room component, which is actually distributing the cooling and the heating in each room. And if I expand that, we'll see each of those components listed here, and we can select them individually. And if we go over to the Data tab and select the entire system, we'll see a list of all the different various components where we could set different properties. If I were to select that variable speed hot water pump, then I can actually just see the properties for that particular component. And you'll note one of the settings we might change here would be the motor efficiency of the hot water pump. And so I can find that here, motor efficiency. It's currently set to 0.77. Perhaps I'll increase it to 0.85. We also might take a look at the hot water boiler. And one of the properties we might change here is the boiler nominal thermal efficiency. So that's already at 0.8. So perhaps we'll just leave that as it is and take a look at the room component. Now in the room component, we have fans, and we could increase the efficiency of those fans, the supply air fan efficiency. So we'll find that here on the list. It's currently 0.5, and let's change it to 0.7. And maybe also change the air fan motor efficiency, and we'll change that to 0.7 as well. So that we've changed some of the efficiency of our motors, and we could then test this system by running a simulation. Now remember, before we run the simulation, we actually have to assign the system to the various rooms in the project. So I'm going to go back over to the Designer tab. I want to make sure I've selected the room component. The room component is the actual component I have to assign to a set of rooms. So I'm going to right-click and select Properties. And I'm just going to select Zone 1 here in the zones, and that's going to list all the rooms in Zone 1 in my rooms available. And that's all the rooms that need conditioning. It will not include the plenums. And we're just going to move those all over to the rooms using this component. I should also have default listed there. And once I've done that, I can close this dialog and then select Apply. Once I've applied that system to the rooms, I'm going to select OK. I'm also going to hit the Save tab up here just to make sure all those changes are saved before I run a simulation. So I'm going to go to the Calculations tab. I'm going to select my simulations. Select Floor 1. We'll give this simulation a name. So this will be simulation with PTAC with hot water. And so we just want to make sure that that's the HVAC system we have selected for our simulation. And we'll again select full year and we'll start. And once the report has finished running, of course, you could come take a look at the results. And then we could compare the energy usage there to some of the other HVAC systems. Note that that boiler is using natural gas. So we're now have no electricity going to heating, but we have natural gas instead. So you can do the same for the other HVAC systems and make a comparison so that you can select the most efficient HVAC system.